Hello, welcome. Session 1, week 1 in the 6-week consistency challenge. We are starting, we are here. Thank you for being here. Let's get on with it. I'm not going to keep you sitting for long. We're going to get straight into this workout right off, but I do need to explain where we're starting and what we're going to do. This first week in the challenge is all about establishing our rowing stroke, what it is we want to be thinking about, and how we're going to progress through this whole challenge, through this whole 6-week process. So I really want to start off with an exercise. We're going to spend the first 5 minutes of this workout doing an exercise that I think is kind of a staple, it's kind of a key. If we could only ever do one exercise in rowing again, for me it would probably be this one. So what we're going to be doing is building up our stroke from the front end of the stroke, from the catch, as we call it, where we are catching the weight. So we're going to start off by doing the leg push exercise, legs only exercise from the front. So we're going to be sitting forwards, holding our arms out straight, our body sitting up from the lower back, nice and strong, relaxed shoulders, feeling comfortable in that position with the handle, holding the handle. And all we're going to do to start with is push quarter of the legs. So we're going to push the legs quarter of the way. When I say quarter, I mean quarter of the way back. If this is full, where your legs are fully extended and fully down, quarter is just a fraction, and it is a small fraction. It feels like a very small amount, but that's what we're going to do to start with. Just push this. The only thing that moves is our legs, or if you want to think about it, the seat back. The only thing that moves. Everything else stays the same, stays still. We're going to do that for a bit, then we're going to go to half push, half leg push. So it's just a little bit more. It's a very small addition to what we're doing. But all the while, we're keeping our torso, our arms straight, our torso still, and the angle our torso sits at still, and in the same angle. And then we're going to bring the legs flat. So we're going to do full legs, so all the way down. But again, nothing else moves. We're not moving the body. We're not moving the arms. We're just pushing the legs flat. And then the next phase is we're going to bring in the body. So we're going to do legs and body there. So legs and body, our legs go flat and we bring the body through, keeping the arms straight. So that is the main part of the drive of the rowing stroke that we're looking for. And then we're going to finish off this exercise by bringing the arms in. So we're going to push back, bring the body and bring the arms in to complete our stroke. By that point, we'll be rowing full strokes. We'll finish off that warm-up. We'll take 30 seconds break, and then we'll move into a 5-minute period of time where we are rowing normally. So this session is going to start off with that warm-up. We're going to then do a 5-minute section of rowing, and then a 4-minute section, another 4-minute, a 3-minute, a 2-minute, and a 1-minute cool down. In between each one of those sections, we'll have a 30-second rest break, chance to take a sip of water. But all the while, we're keeping it simple, we're keeping it calm, we're building up our stroke, we're talking about a few simple things, but we're just getting established in our rowing, ready for this challenge ahead. Okay? Let's do it. Let's pick up the handle. Okay, so strap yourself in. First, the warm-up, the first part is 5 minutes with that exercise in. So coming forward, picking up the handle, sitting strong with the lower back, shins to vertical if you can. Bring your heels up, arms out straight, sitting up tall, relax shoulders, and we're going to do quarter leg push. Ready? Go. Don't rush it. Keep it simple, nice and relaxed. So this is going to feel weird to start with. But the reason I want to start here is because this is the start of the stroke. And if we start here, we can build up the stroke and we can improve our stroke off the back of this. If we get this right, we can get everything right. So I think it is an important part or important place to start with. Now, we're not looking for anything hard here. We don't need to work hard. We don't need to push hard. I just want you to feel. What can you feel? I'll explain what I'm feeling. So I'm feeling when I move forward, there's a point where I catch the weight. And actually, I realize I use my hands a little bit with that. I might flick my hands up slightly. I roll my handle in my fingers a little and catch that weight. I leave my arms out straight, but I feel it in my core. Because I'm trying to push my legs back first, I feel my core tense, my stomach tense up a little as I push back that quarter of the way. Okay, so let's move to half leg push. So just a fraction more on the leg push. Everything else stays the same. Go. So you can probably hear you're moving your fan in your machine a little more sound in your machine, a little more leg push. You're catching the weight and moving it a little further back each time. Now again, don't rush this. Take your time. It's not a race to get forward and take a stroke. We're not looking for stroke rate or anything like that. We're just feeling and being aware of these movements and being aware that everything except the legs is staying still and maintaining its position. And is it getting a little uncomfortable? I know it is. It is for me too. But don't worry, it'll be over soon. Okay, so we're going to move to full legs now. So we're going to push the legs all the way flat. Don't be tempted to use any other part of the body in this. We're just pushing the legs all the way flat. Ready? Go. And even pause a little at the end if you want to. We're just bringing the knees down. We're sort of pushing the knees through the floor almost, or the backs of the knees through the floor. Arms stay straight. The angle of the body remains the same. And we can feel that sort of tension we create when we catch the stroke and we just move it back, we take it back with us. That's all we're looking for. All right, we're running out of time here in this warm-up, so let's bring the body in now. So we're going to keep the arms straight and just bring the body in. Ready? Go. Good. So what have we done so far? We've initiated the stroke with the legs only. Using our core, our tension in the core, we've taken that weight all the way back with the legs. And now we've brought in the body, we've extended that leg drive. So we're going to finish off here, bringing the arms in. Just pull the arms through to your body. Go. And that's your full stroke. That's it. Well done. It's not complicated, it's easy. And easy there. So we've got 30 seconds now just to take the tension out of your back, probably. Just holding that position firm and strong for such a long period of time. It does stiffen stiffen up. So just allow yourself to stretch up and curl up and out. We're going to move into a 5-minute section now where we just row the full stroke. Don't worry about anything. Don't worry about complicating anything. Just 5 minutes of rowing, just like we finished off then. Let's go. Good. So straight away, just as we finished off then, there's no rush to any part of the stroke here. We're not trying to beat anything or anyone or look at any times right now. We'll get to that. We're just reminding ourselves of what we've built up to start with there in that warm-up. We push the legs first. If you want to think of it like pushing the seat back, that's the first thing that moved in the stroke. To do that, everything else stayed in the same position. That upright position we sit at the catch, with the arms out straight in front of us. The body angle stays the same all the way through the stroke pretty much. And we do brace through the core. We need that. We need that bracing of the core to help us use and transfer the power that we create with the legs. And we need the core to help transfer that power back with us to form the drive of the stroke. Good start. And then the arms just finish up the stroke. They keep everything we've done so far in the drive phase going for a bit longer. They just keep that length of stroke going. To be completely frank, they don't really add much. No matter how strong our arms are, they don't really add much to the stroke, but they do allow us to hold on to what we've created earlier in the stroke. As we did in that exercise to start off. So there we go. There's nothing much more complicated than that we need to worry about. Of course, we're going to add in thoughts, ideas, little bits and bobs. Of course we are. There's plenty more. But the foundations really start with that exercise. And if we can get that right, we're going to be off to a great start. And honestly, if you get that, or this aspect right, it doesn't matter what else you do. Because this sequence of movements is everything we need in rowing. And it'll give you the most efficient stroke. So what a great start. 5 minutes of rowing. Coming into that last minute here, we're going to take a 30-second break. And then we've got a 4-minute section to do where we'll start talking about something else. But for now, just hold on to this idea. Pushing the seat back first. Holding everything else the same all the way through. We're off, guys. We're on. We've started this challenge. The first We've nearly completed the first 10 minutes of the first session in the 6-week challenge. Whew. Good start. Okay, 30 seconds break, and there you go. Feel free to grab a sip of water. I'm going to. I'm just talking a fair bit. Wet your whistle. 4 minutes coming up. In this next 4-minute section, we're just going to start talking a little bit about stroke rate. All the while, please keep what we've just done in mind. Hold on to that as much as you can. We're just going to start thinking about stroke rate. Okay, picking up the handle. Ready? Go. So even in these first few strokes, we're holding that core firm as we push the legs back. And it's only towards the end of that leg drive do we open up the body, bring the shoulders through, and finish off with the arms. The rest of the stroke, we just hold it still. Good job. Okay, so I mentioned stroke rate. And previously I mentioned that we don't want to rush anything. We don't need to rush anything. So, we're going to be looking in this session and for many other sessions for around about 19 strokes a minute. So in your top right corner of your machine, or wherever your machine shows stroke rate, let's try and find 19 strokes a minute. Perhaps you're higher, perhaps you're in the 20s. If you are, don't worry, it's fine. But let's try and bring that down. To do that, I want you to take more time coming forward. Relax. Here. On the way forward, relax. Don't rush. Allow yourself to take your time to come forward to that catch point. If you're a little lower than 19, if you need to pick it up a bit, then feel free to move a little faster. Push a little harder on the way back and be a little freer with your movements on the way forward. But wherever you're from, let's join, let's meet at 19 strokes a minute. So this whole challenge is called the consistency challenge, and there's a number of reasons for that, but one of those reasons is because within each session, within each minute, within each group of 5 strokes we take, so really zeroing in within each session, I wanted to find consistency. And one way to help us do that is through finding and holding on to a stroke rate. Why 19? Well, we can get everything we need to get to in terms of aerobic fitness at 19 strokes a minute. We can get everything we need for the technical side of this activity at 19 strokes a minute. More on that in a minute. We've got 30 seconds rest. Easy there. Great. All right. So we've got another 4 minutes coming up after this. Have a sip of water. Good. So in these sections, we're keeping it light, we're keeping it easy. We're not pushing hard, we're just thinking about the simple things. And right now, focusing on stroke rate. So we're going to do the same again. 4 minutes at 19 strokes a minute. Picking up the handle, ready, go. Take a couple of strokes, just to find that feeling again. Find that stroke rate. Take your time. If you're a little high, give yourself time coming forward, relax more. If you're low, just speed up the whole system, the whole process. Free it up a bit. And we'll come together at 19. Good. So without a doubt, one of the challenges that I set us together to do together is every time I say a stroke rate, we find it together, we get on it together, and we hold it together. And 19 is our, what we might call our steady state stroke rate. It's the stroke rate where we can really practice technique because we have the time to think about each element, each part of the stroke. We have the time to be able to control our body positions, change things when we want to. But 19 also has so much scope because we can work easy at 19, like we are now. We can have a conversation together. If we were next to each other in the same room. But also we can work really hard at 19. It's one of the beautiful things about rowing. We have so much scope for control and manipulation of our training sessions because even at a slow pace, this might feel really slow to you now, but even at a slow pace, we can work really hard. We can go into many levels higher of training zones, even at 19 strokes a minute. So it provides us with everything we need and more. So, stroke rate is going to be one of our key markers in this process. It's something we can really fall back on, really use to our advantage, really use as a tool to manipulate our training, our exercise throughout this whole challenge. And when I suggest a stroke rate, I really want you to try and see how many strokes you can hold it for. If it's a 4-minute section, hold it for 4 minutes with as little variation on that stroke rate as possible. I know it's hard, but the more we build up our awareness, our ability, our control, then the easier it'll become. 30 seconds, recover, and then we're going to move into a 3-minute section. Really simple, same things. I've talked a lot so far. I realize I've probably bombarded you. So for this next 3-minute section, I'm going to be pretty quiet. Leg push, keeping everything simple, 19 strokes a minute. Ready? Go. Good start, well done. Straight back to where we finished that last section. 19 strokes a minute. You don't have to worry about any other numbers on the screen right now. We'll get to that. But this session really isn't about numbers, pushing hard, split time. It's about establishing our stroke and controlling our stroke rate. 19. Good stuff. We've got a minute coming up. So if you can do every stroke in that minute, at 19 strokes a minute, now you'll have 19 strokes left. Consistency is key. Remember, if you're a little higher, glide out on the way forward. On the recovery, take your time. If you're a little low, free up your movements. Move your hands around a little faster. Good. And find that 19 strokes a minute, nice and steady, in control. Lovely pattern of rowing. Good job. "30 seconds recovery now." I didn't call that very well, I apologize. But we're going to move into our final interval here, where we have 2 minutes of rowing. And then we're going to finish with a 1 minute cool down. So for this final 2 minutes, let's just put everything together. So really good stroke, thinking about that building of the stroke from the front end. Quarter legs, half legs, full legs, body, arms in. Ready? Go. 19 strokes a minute. Holding those body positions as we initiate that push back. Don't worry about anything else. Oh, other than the stroke rate. 19. There's only 2 things. I'm only giving you 2 things to think about. Finding and controlling that stroke rate, and building your drive phase with the legs. The core strong. Everything staying still and the same as you push back. And at the last minute, last second, we open the shoulders, open the torso, and bring the arms through to the body to finish the stroke off. Good job. Beautiful stuff. Now just hold this. All we have to do. Nothing hard. We don't need to be killing ourselves right now. Everything we need is right here. And we're going to go straight into a 1 minute cool down And really relax there, well done. Just keep moving, up and down, we'll stop in a second. But that is it, well done, thank you. Thank you for trusting me with that session. From my perspective, that's what we need to start with. That's where we need to start in rowing. In really simple terms, and as you just keep moving up and down for the next 30 seconds, I'll just recount everything we've done there. I know there was a lot, but it's actually really simple. We start off in the position we want to be in. We push the legs first, and a great way to think about this is by pushing the seat back. As we push the seat back, our legs start to extend, but everything else stays the same. Our arms stay straight. Our core is strong. And we just stay in that same angle as we push the legs back, and then we bring the body open just as our legs come flat, and we pull the arms through to the body. That finishes the stroke. That is the drive phase of the stroke. That's how we initiate the drive phase with the legs. The legs are the most important or the strongest muscles in the body. So if we can do that first, then everything else will follow. Really good foundations right there, really simple. So we're just going to keep that in mind as we progress right through. And then 19 strokes a minute is a great stroke rate as a base level stroke rate for most of what we do in rowing. Most of our fitness requirements can come from 19 strokes a minute. We will change that. We will move up and down and fluctuate and play around with the stroke rates because it helps us with control, with enjoyment, with fun, with more interest in the stroke. It helps us develop fast muscle twitch fibers and everything else associated with moving faster. But to start with, let's keep 19 in our minds as the stroke rate we want to hit. And if we can build up strokes that mirror each other one after the other, if we can build up consistency and control at 19 strokes a minute, we can do it with anything. So what a great way to start. Thanks so much. That was so much fun. The other thing I just want to say is that we don't need to start hard. The volume is going to build, it's going to pick up, and as we do this consistently throughout the 6 weeks, then we're going to start to really feel fatigue. But if we start off in a controlled way, in a manner that we feel comfortable, and we can step off the machine and feel great right now, then we're going to be in a good place in a few days' time when we get back on the machine for session 2. So, great start. Thanks for joining me. See you back in the barn for workout 2 very soon. See you there.